Okay, is it recording? Yes. I'm talking about how to draw tape. I know, right? Extremely helpful. But hey, when your family gets kidnapped and held ransom, and the criminal asks for a mediocre sketch of tape as his ransom price, you're gonna be fucking thanking him. Okay, so the action of drawing tape, like real life tape, can be categorized as an observational piece, which is literally what it says. You observe something and recreate it in whatever medium you want. If you want an actual serious dive into observational study besides just drawing fucking tape, then I suggest you get a copy of Hagaki's Observational Sketching. Hone your artistic skills by learning how to observe and sketch everyday objects. What a mouthful. That book is really good. Okay, where are my notes? In any observational piece, you start with the basics, the deconstruction. It's such a fundamental and core skill to learn. Learning how something operates physically allows you to dissect the reference into more digestible pieces. Don't ever try gulping it down all at once, folks. Well, unless you're into that. You might be saying, wow, Sagunn, I know deconstruction is super important, but it's just a roll of tape, you dumbass. First of all, ow, that hurt. Second of all, yeah, it's pretty basic. The shape of a tape roll is essentially a fairly wide but short cut of a cylinder, and that cylinder has a hole in its inside. There's no secret or anything, that is literally the shape. I can't make this shit up, it's pretty simple. However, there is one part of this tape roll shape which can get tricky. The inside of the tape roll. Alright, start listening up, okay? Depending on the perspective of your tape, the inside of your tape roll will show more if it's at an angle, and less if it's at a very flat perspective, like this. You see the difference? To get its three-dimensional shape down, you can always start with a cube to try to space out the area of where your tape roll will occupy. Remember that a cylinder is just a cube but round. You can also use this guide cube as a layout for the inside of your roll of tape, as the inner side of the object should align with the back of the cube in some way. By back, I mean the side of the cube which is facing away from you. And just like that, you should have the basic shape of a roll of tape. But we're missing a big stylistic component. If we're observing from real life, tape usually has different appearances besides just being the roll by itself. You see, because of modern design, tape has its own separate models. It could have a heavy base, be more lightweight, have extra attachments, maybe even some patterns on it. Or if you want to be a monster, you can use it raw, you fucking asshole. See, these small attachments really emphasize the story behind the tape, you know? Because of the model and appearance of the tape, you can really see what it's been through, what it is really used for, how it really wants to function. A tape dispenser which has a heavy plastic body and a large base can usually be seen in an office workplace setting. It's honestly feeling quite depressing and stressful. While a tape dispenser which has a transparent, plastic, lightweight frame can usually be associated with very common household applications of tape, a lot more lighthearted. What I'm trying to say is, just like how you can analyze a fictional character based off their appearance, you can also do the same thing with tape. Yeah, it's just a roll of tape, but no tape is the same as any other, unless it's made in a factory. These attachments and extra details usually either vaguely hug the shape of the tape roll or add a completely new shape to it, so make sure to deconstruct those out as well. And with some basic technical and conceptual ideas down, along with the reference, you should be on your way to drawing tape. Wow, that looks like tape, I think. But we can't just keep it like this, right? That would be too simple. I think we're missing one last thing. But what are we missing? What are we missing? So the first thing I did was block out my reference with line art instead of colors. The tape is really geometrical, so I just didn't want to get any of its shapes messed up, and I feel like blocking it out with color first can sort of cloudy the complex shape of the dispenser. You saw that I start with a very vague cube, and I dissect the parts of the tape dispenser and kind of plaster their shape onto each of the sides of the cube. The sides and bottom of the dispenser are easy to shape out, they're like textbook rectangular prism. but with a slightly angled side. But the top of the dispenser has this weird slopey bit and a little hole in the middle of it, and I realized that it was going to take a little bit more mental power to figure out. There are also a lot of nitpicky details which I ran into in this one, like this weird hole on the side, this trapezoid shape on this side, and this weird tall bit which cuts the tape. But I figured that out later down the line. After my basic shape, I lay out my flats. On the same layer, I kind of trace over my line art guide because the edges of this tape dispenser pop out more than the regular color, emphasizing that shape aspect of the tape. So I just selected a different color, a bit darker color, and did all that. Also, the tape may look black, but it actually has a very slight blue hue. Color is fucking weird, man, I hate it. But besides that, I just lay out 3 colors, the main color, the pure black abyss, which is the inside of the tape, and then the actual tape. Wow. Now we lay out any shadows, lights, and highlights. The shadows are more prominent around the bottom and near the front parts of the tape. You can take an educated guess that the light source of this picture is closer to the top and to the left, very top-heavy light. There is also a prominent shadow on these slopey areas, as it kind of transfers from a light-heavy area to a shadowy area. Also, keep in mind this extremely vague shadow on the ground. It does not look like anything at all, but for an observational piece, this is important. The lighter areas are visible on the front side of the dispenser, on the top, and near the end of the slopey part, so I just smooth those out as well. You can apply them however you want. The highlights are extremely small, but very impactful. That's why I love highlights. There's a pure streak of light which lines the top of the slope and kind of follows it until it reaches near the end of the slope. And after a little bit more fixing up and rendering, it's finished. Now that really looks like tape. God fucking damn it. I instantly see problems after I finish this piece. I fucked up the tape roll shape a bit, I didn't emphasize the trapezoid shape near the front and kind of flat-ended it, and this weird part which actually holds the tape made me lose it. And there's plenty more wrong with it. But generally, I'm pretty happy with it. And that's it. I mean, this process could be done with like any object you observe from real life, except maybe the whole storytelling spiel. I don't know what I was on about, honestly. Just remember to take the time to really observe how objects work. Use your reference and take it step by step. Just make sure you're having fun while doing it. It's a good way to stay motivated. Wait, hold on. Hello?
Is this Sagunn?
Yeah, who is this?
We have your family hostage. If you want to see them again, bring a well-drawn picture of specifically Scotch magic tape, the green one, within 24 hours to this address right here. We will be waiting.
Oh shit, what do? I don't know how to actually draw tape, I just made that shit up. Okay, calm down. It's fine. I can draw tape, it's easy. I just gotta focus up and just draw it. It can't be that hard, right? It's just, it's like a circle, and then it's here you go. I know, it's a pretty good picture. I'm proud of it myself. Now, Mr. Criminal, I was hoping you could, spare my family. God fucking damn.